I know. Welcome, welcome.
You guys, this is such a long time coming.
It really is. I mean, when I told Dean that we were getting the band back together, he really couldn't believe it. And he was like, so you're going to pod for like 4 hours then? Like, I'll see you.
Yeah.
See you then.
4 to 7. I actually had a dream that we also like booped in Greg Adeline. I did. I had a dream.
Imagine.
And like
For
Chief
those-
lives here in Boston.
Context, this was our team back at WIS in Columbia for a 4:00 show that we had way too much flexibility to do whatever the heck we wanted.
A lot
I
of leeway.
produced Sam, Madeline, another anchor, Greg Adeline, who we called Dadaline for his dad jokes, and the
Hashtag
chief
Dadaline.
meteorologist, Demis Brown, who we just called Chief, even though I don't think he is still even a chief at a station now.
He's not
Um,
chief
He's in
here.
Boston, right, Sam?
He's in Boston. He's
Yeah.
not chief here, but he is in Boston. I actually have not seen him. We every so often we text, we're like, we really should get together. And then like he's like living his best and he's still on TV and I'm like chasing a dirty toddler and this is the first time I've sat down today. So like that's the vibe.
That's relationships in your 30s is just like
Yeah.
texting people that we're going to hang out later and never doing it.
I
And
know.
for example, Madeline, I have not talked to probably out loud in 5 years.
Wait, that's nuts.
I mean, probably aside from like Instagram messages back and forth and occasional texts, but like that's we were saying, Adam and I were saying this before you jumped on, Sam, like it is amazing talking about what we went through together. Saying went through, by the way, which is like how it should be said. What we all went through together. And those 3 years, like it's trauma bonding. Like that's bonding that you can't get in any other career with any other people. And those are relationships you'll have for life, no matter what. So
yeah, like we hop back on and it's like, oh, we're right back in it.
Explain Taylor Swift's
You
wedding
know
to
it
me,
doesn't make
please.
sense
Like
to
I'm
me.
5.
Yeah.
So here's the thing, guys. Did I believe she was getting married at Madison Square Garden? Absolutely not. Did it happen? Yes, so I was wrong. I want to ask you all 2 questions before I dive into this, which is how did you consume information about this wedding? Like, where were you seeing things, reading things like during and after?
The before, I feel like for me it was like little breadcrumbs and I saw it all over Instagram mostly. And then, you know, I read in the morning, but like I felt like it was, I told Adam, I felt like it was like gossip column type breadcrumbs. And it felt very Taylor, like dropping things. Is she going to do it? Is she actually going to get married? God only knows where else.
Sure.
It was so weird. And I would also say that I consumed it begrudgingly.
I mean, there was no way to stay away from it. There was no way to stay away from it. I think
flooded
with
my feed.
This whole wedding comes down to one simple thing, which is that at her heart, at her core, Taylor Allison Swift is a theater kid. And you know, that informs everything she does.
That was my biggest takeaway. Maximalism is back, baby. Like people want to go big. Like between like Ray, who's another musician who is my absolute favorite. Like that's the Where's My Husband? Like she just goes big. Taylor Swift is just like, if I'm doing a wedding, I'm inviting the world. Like gone are these days of these like little private weddings.
But then in contrast, the Venn diagram of Dua Lipa and Callum Turner's wedding and Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce's wedding, the only center that I could find is they both had embroidered handkerchiefs as something that people took away. I mean, she went and made this small, little, beautiful, intimate, and yet still very designer thing. And Taylor said, I'm going to rent the most famous stadium in the world, arguably. But when you think about it, what else was she gonna do if she wanted it to be this private? What I think the real question is it going to stay this private? She had as guests Bob Iger, Adam Aaron, head of AMC. She had most likely Netflix execs there. Are we going to see Taylor Swift Presents My Magical Wedding documentary?
Well, yes.
Okay, I thought that was assumed. Because I'm assuming
It's
this is a
actually
cloak and
not.
dagger thing. Because there's no way there was not a like more private like something that would have been a media frenzy. And she was like, I'm gonna give them this little thing to obsess over. Meanwhile, over here, there's a whole lot more happening. I feel
Sure,
like
sleight of hand kind of moment. I mean, I believe that they probably were already married. There were a lot of people who thought that the Thursday rehearsal dinner was actually maybe the wedding, and then Friday was a big party. But everything we've heard, the things that have been confirmed independently by journalists, which like I cannot believe we're back here with me independently confirming Taylor Swift news. There were vows read that were each 20 minutes by Taylor and by Travis. Adam Sandler, as we know, was the officiant. She walked down the aisle to Love Story, the strings version from Bridgerton. Like, this was a wedding.
okay,
They wore custom Dior.
Okay, 3 follow-up questions. And I did see that Travis wore white. Why that made it onto my feed?
He did.
But like we have
Did
no
he wear
photos.
a top hat? That's the big question.
Oh,
I'm
God,
sure
I
there's
just
a
keep
Polly market
vomiting
bet
in
on
my
that.
mouth.
What? Like
all of
I'm
it.
here for the distraction. I just
Yeah.
like I was mentioning this to some of the like 18, 19-year-old coworkers I have, and I was like, "Oh, I'm going to go talk about Taylor Swift for a bit." And they're like, "Ugh, who takes away like the biggest venue in one of the biggest cities on a giant weekend and thinks that they deserve like the full MSG experience for them?" And I was like, "Huh, that's like interesting." That like one of the takeaway was like, "Oh, you gonna just take away a huge block of New York for a day just for yourself?"
Okay, but that's New York, baby. Like, that happens all the time. I mean, like, I
If you
think
can
one
afford
of the
it,
things,
you can buy
if
it.
you can,
Yeah.
look, first of all, Jeff Bezos rented out the city of Venice. So let's all,
Yeah. Let's all not forget.
let's
But
all,
also,
lest we
you don't want to be
forget,
comparing yourself to like
you
To
don't.
Jeff
Look,
Bezos.
to Jeff Bezos and Taylor Swift. I don't want to make that comparison. But she can't win, right? She can't
No,
win
she
no
can't.
matter what. And she's done what she could, which is donate $27 million to charity ahead of
A
this
light
to basically
27
be
mil.
like, you know, look, I know everyone's
Oh.
going to be mad at me, but at least I can say I did something. But at the same time, like, she's never going to know peace. And so this was her way of, I guess, protecting her peace.
I think that not only is she a theater kid, I think like she loves making people guess. I think Homegirl,
She's a
90%.
psycho.
Okay,
Yeah.
like right.
Yeah.
And also,
She is
why Adam
queen of the
Sandler?
Easter eggs.
Is there a
Yeah,
lore
I feel
there?
like, yeah, what's the deal? Because I feel like when we were talking about it, but like right before the wedding, that name was not on the list of people that we were talking about as a potential
So
officiant.
How do
that
they know each
makes
other?
so I think that there's a couple ways that they know each other. Number one, most likely being because Travis just did Happy Gilmore 2, which Adam Sandler, obviously star and producer. Adam Sandler is also, from everything that I've read and heard just in like covering pop culture, is probably next to like Will Ferrell, one of the most liked celebrities by everyone, is connected in a lot of ways. Like Steven Spielberg was at this wedding. Spielberg and Sandler have a relationship. Like, he is someone who a lot of people have relationships with because he is so well liked. Also, I believe his girls are huge Swifties. So I think that Taylor might have had a relationship with Sandler's daughters at some point, whether it was an Eras Tour thing. But I mean, I think my guess is him and Travis got really close doing Happy Gilmore 2. I would love to know if there were any other celebrities you guys heard about coming and were like, why was that person there? Because I have
George
two.
Stephanopoulos.
Incredible one. How do they know each other? Don't know. My
Didn't
other
she
thing
say
is,
she wanted to invite like anyone that she's ever met?
I mean, it was over
It was
1,000
people.
It was almost 1,100 people. We were, my husband and I were talking about, has there ever been a larger gathering of famous people together? Because this
don't
was
think
the
so.
Oscars, the Globes, the Grammys. NFL, the most popular sport in
Who
the
is
United
the
States.
celebrity designated survivor?
I mean,
where my political journalism
was
brain
Brad
goes. Was
Pitt
like,
there? Because if not, he might have been.
I think he would have
might have been
saved
the one.
Hollywood.
I feel like I got overwhelmed,
Cruise?
like
Probably
seeing all the
not.
celebrity pictures. Like I got overwhelmed at
I
one
saw
point where I
none.
was like, I can't even consume anymore because they're all going. And then the next day it was like they all posted photos from it just was like, it was such a maximal showing of celebrities that it actually broke my brain.
I think what was funny is that no one can beat the millennial allegations of the minute you were allowed to post on Instagram, people were posting these like mysterious captions of like, had a great night in New York last night. Like, okay, you got to go to Taylor Swift's wedding.
Okay.
But we can't break any NDAs, so we're going to be real cutesy about it.
Yo, imagine that NDA, the pages to get into that wedding.
Imagine the prenup.
I mean,
Yeah.
I've been imagining that. I did a whole story I did a Valentine's Day story about prenups using Taylor Swift's wedding as like a peg.
I love
data
this
showing that like young couples now more likely to do prenups. And I was like, great, I'm going to turn this into a whole 2-minute bit.
That's a great angle, actually.
What a great story that I am jealous that I didn't get to do.
Oh,
and in Nashville, right?
We pitched. No, that was Phoenix. Nashville really didn't care, other than like CMTs and CMAs. Like day-to-day country music news would not make it into like a newscast.
Oh, that's
Maybe
interesting.
big.
Yeah.
Tourism was big because it was so big to everyone. But like, I think there's the acceptance that like hyper media industry blogs, like the things on Music Row, those are the trade pubs. Like those are going to get that info. We would always go for like interviews and like, can you be close with a publisher or a publicist to like get this access to get an interview with Dolly Parton is like a 6-month ordeal.
I can only imagine.
So like stuff like that. But then other random people will just walk through. But yeah, no, that was Phoenix. Phoenix was like, yeah, that sounds fun.
I love that for Phoenix.
I do too.
Imagine, Maddie, we were talking about in our last episode, like being a local news reporter in New York City during this craziness of the Taylor wedding weekend. How horrific it would have been to try to get, or I mean, it would have been easy to get MOS, but like you would have been just like swarmed. And
Absolutely.
also just like there was that additional angle of it was so hot, and weren't they asking New Yorkers to conserve energy?
They were.
That weekend. So
not to mention
wasn't
FIFA
it also
was also happening there.
Yeah,
right.
Like,
it was 4th of July.
And the Knicks had just won. The Knicks had
Mhm.
just won. FIFA was happening, and then it was Taylor Swift's wedding. I mean, bless. But again, that's New York,
if you were
guys.
If you were a pop culture entertainment reporter based in New York, those 2 weeks must have been absurd. Like the Madeline Cudahy equivalent of New York market.
And if there is one, if there even
still is,
there's
like,
no,
a trending
there's
news
no comparison.
How dare I?
Don't you feel like though, like just all of that? It's like there's, these insane sports teams. You have Taylor Swift, who's a billionaire, and then you have like regular everyday New Yorkers. It is just like New York in a microcosm of like the haves and the have-nots.
Absolutely. I mean,
that's what it told me.
The one last tidbit from this wedding that I wanted to come on and talk about, not because I'm proud of what she did, but because I know it will enrage you too, is, did you hear about the raffles?
No.
Oh God!
Please,
all right,
please tell us.
I'm gonna break this news here.
Oh no!
On More at 4 is that she and Travis during the wedding raffled off Chanel handbags and Cartier watches, and apparently Avril Lavigne won one of the Chanel bags. But the idea to me of a raffle at a wedding is something that I can say, Sam, you and I probably did not consider when planning ours.
No.
Can't say that I've ever been to a wedding with a raffle. And I now plan galas for a living. And that
so
means I do raffles
a Cartier raffle
all the time.
I was about to say, so are we adding that to the Here's my thing.
I've never been fortunate enough to have a Cartier raffle.
Okay, here's my hot take. I don't hate the wedding raffle. Like, aside from the fact that ain't nobody getting a Cartier anything.
Really?
I think
Adam.
I am pro, maybe it's the summer camp in me, but I love gamifying anything. And I have been to I go to a lot of weddings. I'm blessed to have many friends in life who enjoy me as a random +1 at whatever table. However, like give me some entertainment. Like that gets some suspense going. I wouldn't be opposed to wedding bingo. Like anytime.
Oh my God.
I think, look, is it the classiest move? No. But do you want something people are going to remember? Do you want something that is going to get people talking to other people at their table that they didn't already know? Maybe engaging, socializing, listening.
I mean, when you have 1,000 people, most of whom do not know each other, that is a way to maybe bring people together. I think
hear icebreaker.
The concept of bread and circus, I think, is where people were kind of struggling with this. Like the idea of
that phrase, bread and circus.
I think it's we can stop down and edit this out, but I think it's like an ancient Roman thing.
I love that.
Back in the time of the gladiators, it was the idea of giving people bread and a circus to distract them from poverty and war. And
that's literally what this wedding was.
Yeah, I want to say it was an ancient Roman thing. So
I just did fact check. That looks good to me.
That's pretty good.
Thank you. I mean, it's
the Roman
it's
Empire is
Marie Antoinette.
Roman Empire.
Mm-hmm.
It's
not the meat cake.
It's like if you need something to bond over, why not bond over like Chanel and Cartier? You know, you don't know each other. You're all celebrities. You all
I could bond over
that. I could too. I could too.
By the way, Adam has referred to himself as like the C-list. Was it a C-list wedding guest?
Either
He's
C-list
like,
or
I'm not
third
your
tier.
first. Yeah, C-list or third tier wedding guest. He's like, I come, I round out your table. I'm like an odd one. And then I
don't
like
have a +1.
Stir up the dance floor. I'm going to be a good time.
Adam, you are so much more than a C-list wedding guest, and I want you to have that confidence and faith in yourself.
You are. No matter what the kids at summer camp are telling you.
Don't let anyone tell you or dull your sparkle.
Guys, I've been cool this week. I don't know what it is, but
They think you're cool?
No, they definitely don't think I'm cool.
Oh, okay. I was like, wow, what a dream. The Gen Zs think you're cool.
Guys, I got so proud the other day. So I had an issue with the gymnastics, like little group of girls for a while because they were being very demanding for photos. These are my day-to-day struggles right now. Like to the point that I had to like pull over and get myself a Frosty because I was like this distraught over the amount of screaming from like 8 to 15-year-old girls that happened in the past 2 hours of my life. Then yesterday, some of them did like a big performance with like the cheer and dance major, and I was like a proud dad up there. I was like, "You get that flip? Like, come on!" Like we had a bonding after we had a tough time. Like I came back, we rounded out the friendships.
Yes.
So
it's a full circle moment.
So we get those moments at summer camp, but
speaking of moments at summer camp, can we talk about the slip and slide? Because I saw a photo of you spread eagle that I don't know if it'll ever be out of my brain. Yeah.
Okay. No, that is a close friend Instagram story. If that,
so you won't be seeing it, but I can describe it for you. It's Adam on a slip and slide spread eagle.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's the thing. I want to have fun, but I am not athletic. I might be in shape, but I am not athletic. I think there's a difference. Like don't.
You run like a freaking marathon.
Yeah.
But like hand-eye coordination and doing things constructively and purposefully with my body at a given time is not my strong suit. Like
whose is it? You know, like
my dad
never all those limbs together.
Like we didn't do catch, or nobody. Like my brother have taught me how to throw a football and play catch with me. So I'm like here for doing everything. So they had slip and slide day because the baseball and softball kids have to practice their slides naturally, and it's also fun. And I was like, I was scared to go last week because I was like, I'm going to break my arm. So I'm going to go this week. And so I go over to the slip and slide. All the kids are there. I'm excited. I give one of my counselors who's a friend the camera. I said, take a couple pictures. And they're all like looking real cool. Like they're all just like launching way past the tarp. They're doing these like cool different slides. 1 knee, 2 knee, like all these things. And I'm like, my goal ain't to die. So the first attempt was a one knee, and that turned into me making no progress, but ending up spread eagle on the blue tarp. Then I tried again after they encouraged me to go face first, and I made it halfway through. And that was the successful photo, but I was still petrified of
I
breaking
would
my
think I'd
arm
break my nose. Yeah.
or nose or anything. So like my eyes are closed. I'm definitely clenched in every single way.
You don't look clenched. You look nice and loose and relaxed and spread eagle. To the world. That
Just
was
to the
such a
world.
random tangent. I just had to address that. And I'm so sorry that for the good people of our podcast, they won't get to see that photo of you. But it will live in my memory literally forever.
Yes. Yes.
Like
Burned
forever
into my
and ever and
retinas,
ever.
if you will.
Yeah. Yes.
Like I look good in the photo, other than the fact that I look confused, spread eagle with a bunch of kids half laughing at me.
Yeah. I think that
Also,
the position is tough.
yeah, it's tough for you. This also, when you were like, Dad didn't take me out back to play catch. I'm like, do you want me to send Logan to you? Can I like send Logan to play catch with you or something?
My dad is an amazing father. He is just an Argentinian born man who did not play baseball. He coached soccer, and my brother was my assistant coach. There was that involvement.
Okay.
It just wasn't baseball or football.
I am
just never learned how to catch. It's fine.
I did in media intramural beer league softball. Thank you very much.
And what an athletic bunch I'm sure that was.
Mic drop.
Yo, the Nat Pops
Woof.
/ Future Pizza in the Break Room, which were the two names of the team, really came back from like losing Nat Pops and then Pizza in the Break Room for the name.
I have to tell you guys, this is just bringing me to literally 2 days ago. This is such a random tangent. I am driving through Chevy Chase, Maryland. Right now in DC, there is a huge chunk of Metro that is closed. And so the big news story here right now is that people who commute every day to work on our largest train line are now having to take buses to get to the next open station.
Is it the red line?
Yes.
That shit's always on fire. That shit catches on fire.
Always terrible.
All the time.
But like, so I'm driving through Chevy Chase, which is where the last station is open. So everyone's getting on these buses to go into DC to get back on the Metro. It's absolute chaos. The local news this week has been covering it every single day because they have not been able to figure this out yet. I mean, Dean had to do it 2 days, but for the first time, and I don't even know how long, I saw 2 camera guys carrying live views. And I like had an app, like I'm driving and like my soul left my body. It's like, I have not seen a live view in so long. These 2 guys are out there with their cameras, just sweating, getting MOS. And I was like, wow, that just looks so miserable to me.
It's so
I will translate
miserable.
2 terms. MOS, man on the street interview. Live view is the backpack-like device you'll see news teams use. That is how we transmit the signal from the camera back to the news station. Little interesting thing, it uses all the different cell towers, so like AT&T, Verizon, T-Mobile, everything, picks the strongest ones, and that's what it sends over. So if news doesn't have good like cell signal or Wi-Fi, because it can't switch to Wi-Fi, everything looks glitchy, and that's why you get that glitchiness on your screen.
Yeah, when you're in the boonies covering a fire.
Yeah,
or
when
that
you're
delay.
in Camden.
Yeah. Literally. Like I think about being on the side of a road in the pitch black somewhere in like Western Mass, covering like a fire down a road. We're like, you know, lugging all the, thankfully it's like here you have a photographer, but like, I'm sure you were seeing, Maz, you were seeing MMJs. There are MMJs now in DC. They're
DC
like
is
rampant.
mostly MMJs. I mean,
that is horrific to me.
One-man bands.
I mean, it's, what is it, the top 7 market in the country, and they're mostly MMJs. Those actually probably weren't even MMJs, knowing that it was, I think one of them was Fox 5 and one of them was WUSA, where I used to work. It was probably just 2 photogs that they just sent out.
Yeah.
Because it was, 3:30 in the afternoon?
Especially
like, they didn't waste a reporter on that.
No.
Like,
like, I don't know how DC is, but like
content.
Yeah, and up here it's like the photogs are unionized, and so they're not supposed to be getting interviews. Like they're just supposed to be running cameras. They're supposed to have a very specific role. And so like if management asks them to like do interviews, that's not really under their purview. Like they could file a grievance with the union. That's like a whole thing. Yeah.
Oh,
I've never
and
worked
I
in a
don't
union
know
shop.
enough about what's going on at the stations up here to know if they are, but I don't believe they are
Yeah.
unions, or at
I
least
mean,
they weren't
clearly if
when I
they're
was at
holding them out.
USA.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
That's
they
crazy.
just had sticks, live views on their back, but I mean, I guess I should say for the listeners at home, I am also a former journalist. I know that like we've all taken our sabbaticals at this point, but I've been out of the game way longer than than you guys have been out of the game.
How
It's been,
long has
what,
it
5
been?
years?
I left my last station in 2022.
That's right. Because it was right as I was moving to Boston, you were leaving that job.
I was leaving that job, and it was a job that station I do not miss. That job I do not miss at all. And I have no regrets about leaving that, but we have all talked about, I think, independently, and you guys have done an amazing job talking about it on the pod, that it is really hard identity wise to go from your job being a really interesting thing people want to hear about at cocktail parties to no longer having that define you. And like there are still times now where someone will know that's what I used to do, and that's what they would rather talk about than what you're doing now. And it's crazy. It's
I
crazy.
It
default
is.
to bringing
Yeah.
it up just because I know it's an easier conversation topic. Like,
Yeah.
everyone
Yeah.
has a relationship with news or TV, and, like, there is some sort of question that they'll be excited to ask, usually.
Yeah.
And you're
So
just out of it too. So like it's very, and I mean, just out of it and maybe going back, like we don't know what you're going to do.
Yeah.
You don't know what you're going to do, but like
no one does.
nobody does. But I think the point being like, you're still so your sense of self is still so attached to it. There hasn't been, I think what both Maddie and I have gone through is like an ego death in a way where you have to like, it's a total like ego death. You have to lose and discard it before you can rebuild your sense of self somewhere else. And I
Absolutely.
think it's such a mind fuck. Like it really is because you
Jeez.
just,
I can't imagine, like, being in the real world, like, being in the camp world and telling people what I used to do, like, that's a thing that
Yeah.
everybody has a life outside of here kinda
Yeah.
situation.
Mm-hmm.
But no, I haven't had to, like, have my identity in any way be like, "Yes, I am Adam. I have nothing to do with news or media."
Yeah. And I'm sure, Maddie, you
Yeah.
went and worked you worked a different job right before the one that you're at now.
I
And
did.
coming
I
out of
did.
news, it was kind of a transition. And I remember that was
Mm.
really tough for you.
Oh, absolutely. And I mean, I had a great job when I left news that I was so excited about. And I'm still in touch with that organization because it was an amazing year transition for me. But it was such a steep transition, to the point where I was so happy because I wasn't living with the stress that we've all lived with when we're in a job that we know is like taking parts of us away. Um, you know, it's not a joke to say that I would come home every day to Dean and say, "Can I quit today?" before I left my station. And I took this job and it was an immediate, almost like course correct. And then after a year, I had the opportunity that I'm in now, which is fundraising and philanthropy for a cause that like I personally have a huge relationship to and care a lot about. And that was like the right fit. So that bridge year was almost like me just kind of like dealing with the fallout of the 2 years that had come before that. I went back to therapy to basically like try and deal with the fact that I had really lost myself for 2 years and I was the most unhappy I'd ever been.
Yeah.
Mm.
What is that behind you?
Teenage boys screaming.
It's like I hear teenage boys. What is happening? Some sort of chant, camp chant.
Yes.
But I think that was a really good transition to what we're talking about, which is like I have seen so many anchors recently leave the biz. We've watched the big ones. We've watched the Don Lemons and the Brooke Baldwins and who are the big ones?
I don't
Tucker
know.
Carlson.
I even think
Like,
anyone at KTLA, like,
oh my
big
gosh, yes, KTLA.
LA
Like,
station, that
I saw
iconic.
someone in Texas just leave at a friend of mine station that I know.
The Fox in New York City, what's her name? She's beautiful. Bianca? I mean, she was like one of the big main anchors, and she just like left, and she's doing content creation now. Like, I don't know what I don't know what she's doing, but she's loading up in terms of content creation. And
Really?
it's so interesting to watch. There's like some of these big time reporters and anchors, and they're going off into that direction. They're going full content creation. There was one, Adam, in your market. I've actually talked to her a little bit on social media. Her name is Nikki. She was in Nashville. I gotta find her last name. I'm blanking on it. But anyway, she's full blown like
Nikki Burdine.
influencer.
Yes.
Yes.
She was our morning
she's
show
former
anchor.
USA. She's former WUSA. Nikki
Is she
Burdine.
really?
Yes.
Yeah.
Long time anchor.
Wow.
Aside from co-anchor, would always invite me over for Thanksgiving. He would like invite all of the Neil Orn shout out. Also started a podcast like after they left, and
I mean, you're like we're. I feel like there's a connection to someone everywhere, and like you were saying, Mads, like it's just the business is so small. But now it's like you're seeing like a small business and this small group of people who are trying to like branch out and evolve into these different media spaces. And so now there's this really weird gray area of like traditional TV journalists, you have influencers, you have news influencers, which feels
odd.
because you can't technically be an influencer and take favors and product and payment if you're reporting the news, right? Like that's like one of the basic tenets of journalism.
Yeah.
But you do have people who are going out on their own independently, and you have to have sponsorships and advertising to be able to fund that. So then they become news like, would you consider Don Lemon a news influencer?
So
or
I have
you
a
consider
lot to
just
say
him
about
a
that.
journalist?
On the Don Lemon,
That's
now I
interesting.
think he's a news personality, is what I would say him as. I think a news and which you can put under the big J journalism category. Look, if you're sharing stories, if you're sharing information that you want to be accurate or is accurate at least through the eyes of your world experiences, like I'm here for it. But my thing with the money is, like take ads from things that are unrelated. If you're doing a story about like broadcast and like I don't know, rural broadband and access to internet, like don't take a sponsorship from Comcast, take it from like a food company or whatever. Like don't go straight. I think as long as you keep those separate, I'm cool with it. And I'm cool with anyone trying to translate news to a wider audience. But it's when you're doing it and the goal is clicks. It's like when clicks is what sustains you, I get worried.
I think there's 2 points on this. One is that I think it's a really hard line when you're in true like local news that we all experienced. Living in Colombia, you can't get much more local than that in terms of the fact that we were out in the world there, knowing that people knew who we were, knowing that they watched us on air. And businesses, because it's such a small town and you develop such a relationship, that idea of an ad or someone giving you something for free, or, you become kind of a micro influencer. And I think without even meaning to, when you are reporting in some of these small communities. And so the line there is really difficult.
Yeah, it is so hard.
I think for a lot of these young reporters that I've seen come up and that I've talked to young women who want to get into journalism, like I'm so proud of the fact there's a group at my college, Catholic University. They started a television news group because we don't have a broadcast journalism degree. And I helped them with that, kind of getting it off the ground. But I warned them, like, my go-to has always been this job is 93% hard work for the 7% that looks really, really fun and glamorous and cool, and the opportunities it affords you. You're going to get people to come to your group or want to do this as a career who are not in it for the capital J journalism and are in it for the Instagram followers.
Which
and
is
that's tough.
And it's tough in the sense that also at the same time, you're being told from these you're coming up at a time when a personality is a personality, that people have these multi-hyphenate, people have these different hats that they put on and that are
Mhm.
known. I mean, one of the big things that we were talking about was, yeah, when you are a news personality and you're a local news person and your station is telling you, hey, we want your content on social media. We want vertical videos. We want you to
Yeah.
talk direct to camera, direct to audience. But also at the same time, make sure it is 100% buttoned up all the time and show your personality in a way that we feel best represents us, because that account that you think of as your personal account and showing off you gave the news company, you said, I'm a representative of this news company. Now, do I
Yeah.
think they should get looser? I mean, we were talking about that post about there was something in the New York Post or something picked up.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of industry blogs that kind of talk about local news and like go very into specifics, will like pick out people's Instagram accounts and be like, this isn't professional content or this was sponsored. And like they didn't admit it. Some things that are great gatekeeping and watchdog, but then other things is just one person's opinion on what a news journalist in this day and age should be. And that shouldn't dictate things and dictate what happens when you Google yourself and when future employers Google you and
Right.
industry people. But again, the bikini picture is what I've been trying to get
Yeah, the
to.
bikini picture. So there was this anchor in Miami, and she posted some photos from her vacation. It's just like her with her friends. She's in a bikini. They're having a good time. And the blog that picked it up, which is a blog that consistently goes after women who are in
Absolutely.
local news, and like, eh, I mean, I'm happy to call them out. Like, it's some dude sitting in a basement trolling women's Instagram. Like,
Yeah.
there's
And
no
has been for years. Has
it
It's a
been
it has
for
been for
lot of
years.
female
years.
focus.
It is female focused, and there are some things on there that, yeah, like, of course you're going to consume it, like, when you're in the industry and you're like, "Ooh, it's gossip." Like, it feels like TMZ for local news. It's slop, it's not good,
Yeah.
generally
Yeah,
riddled with
there's
typos,
typos.
like,
Yeah.
yeah, it's awful, but point being, this person who runs this blog called out this anchor, and then the New York Post picked it up. And the reason it got picked up is because there was this allegation that the news director, or was it the general manager, sent out this note basically like telling reporters and anchors like that they should not be doing this, and
Like
that it doesn't
posting
posting,
pictures in
yeah,
a bikini.
and that like they are not influencers, they're journalists, and to be serious, basically, like be serious. And then they got so much backlash on the internet from specifically female journalists who are like, hey, wait a second, that's just like straight misogyny. Like, what, I can't go on vacation and post a photo from vacation just because I'm not like wearing a turtleneck? Like, what the
Right.
hell? So I think it brings up the important distinction, though, of like there is this crossover now because we have social media and because there is this emphasis on speaking to viewers where they are, how they are. There's it's no longer like, Adam and I have talked about this before, like, it is no longer me in a blazer sitting here talking to you, delivering the news. Like,
It's
you want
not.
to
And that's not
hear
what people
me.
want.
They don't want it.
Yeah.
They want me
So
in
annoying.
God only knows what I'm wearing when I wake up at 8 o'clock in the morning. And I'm just telling you, and I'm dishing like it is. Like, that is what people want to hear. And there's this part of management, and I think specifically older men in management, who are stuck in this archaic way of the 80s, 90s, early 2000s, where women are supposed to be a certain way on television, and it's got to go. It's
Or
got to go.
I
that was the
I'm
correct way. We need to get
yeah.
back to that because that was when everybody had faith in news and everything like that. And
It's
and
like,
and
that ain't the problem, baby.
I
No.
like that's and the quotes from this article from the news director or the VP
Oh,
of
yeah,
news,
please pull them.
Yeah.
which made me more upset. And again, I have thoughts about this specific post. It does look a little bit like an ad. They are like tagging a company. I don't love that part.
Sure.
Um, but and I think that like if she did get some kickbacks from that company and tagging them now, like that's not great.
Sure. And that's the gray area, right?
There's
Like,
That's the
that's
gray.
where it gets tough.
But then you don't write this to your staff. You don't write too many of our social media accounts are being used for foolish nonsense. We don't want dance videos with our staff. We don't want fashion shows, outfits of the day, or other silly content that distracts from you as journalists. No, you gotta let people in somehow. They need to buy
Absolutely.
into you as a human before they can trust your journalism. And if your way is outfits of the day and wants to show people like, and that gets in an audience, it's the NFL. Back to Taylor Swift. It's like, look, are we mad about all of the cuts to Taylor Swift and maybe the extra explanations in football that was happening as a result? Sure.
Yeah.
Why not? But you're doing this to grow an audience that you need to grow.
Yeah.
And as long as you're being responsive, don't try to nix it. Try to make it better anyway. And
she tagged the bar that she was at, by the way. I just looked.
That was the bar, not like a company.
That was the bar.
Okay.
Yeah. It was the bar, like the venue she was at. Yeah.
I'm curious because both of you have been in a newsroom more recently than me. Did either of you sign a handbook or a code of ethics when it came to social media? No.
No.
Okay.
No, because but here's the thing. There was written like the at will they own your name, image, and likeness.
Yeah.
That is part of it. And them deciding what they believe is appropriate and deemed appropriate. And if you want a handbook, you have to look for it. You have to go.
I had to ask for it.
There was multiple points that I had to ask for our ethics handbook and our social media policies written down.
And I
wanted to see them.
There is, they can't win, and like you can't win because the reason a show like ours, when we were all working together at WIS, worked is because we let people in so intimately into our lives every day, on air and on socials. I mean, all three of us, Sam, you and I especially, came up with social first content that we then transferred,
which was what
to air.
Was being asked for from top down.
From the top. And it's why we were successful. When Judy and I and you and Cammie, when we did WIS Today, like that was...
I forgot about WIS Today.
I mean, that was maybe the most intimate version of news that you can have. We were talking for... God, that show, I thought it was like 3 hours a day. I know it was only a 1 hour show, but it felt like
it's basically what we're doing right now. It's like weird. This is literally like what we're doing right now.
I mean, WIS Today was like, hey, I'm just hanging out and telling you where I can buy toilet paper here on Jordan Street. For hours.
But to your point, like, and I obviously have recently announced a second pregnancy, and I was telling Adam last week, my social media went bananas, and it was like people
because of
were
your
coming out of the but it was actually mostly
which is crazy because I love you, but like we're not anybody right now.
But like, who cares? Exactly. But I think the point is, a lot of the people who were coming out of the woodwork are people who have still been silently observing since the Columbia days, and it's like. They see a big announcement and they're like, oh my gosh, they're like stepping in to congratulate. Meanwhile, they've been here the whole time.
Yeah.
Like for the last 7
They didn't leave
years.
it because
they never
were getting Boston news and ingesting it and probably being some of the most loyal clicks because they love Sam and they felt like they know Sam, and they do know Sam.
Like, or they know a version of Sam. You know, they don't. They know a version of Sam.
What you see is what you get.
What you see is what you get. But I mean, I'll tell you, like, I still have people. I mean, you guys know, and this is like a running thing that I've done for years, which is I love red carpets. I do red carpet commentary for every single award show.
I love
this is the first year I kind of took a step back from it because I'm a mom now, and because there was just kind of this unease that I was feeling in my life about, honestly, this idea again of like the let them be.
Wait, I was going to ask you about that. Because I noticed you didn't do it. There was one show and you said like,
I didn't do the
taking
Oscars.
a break, the Oscars. And you guys have to know, Madeline
this
crushes.
Is how I get all of it.
This is actually because I don't like sit and watch the award show, and I just like go to Madeline's Instagram and I like watch through the red carpet looks, and it's not just the fact that you share the looks, it's like it's also the fact that it's your running commentary. Like it just hits me. It's a lot of takes, but it's so interesting that started to feel like
disingenuous.
I don't know. Disingenuous or icky to you when I'm like consuming it. Right. We're like, this is incredible. So I would just be curious if you wanted to like quickly share about like why that was and how you felt.
And I hate to say it like this. I don't remember what was going on in the world at that time because so much is going on in the world at all times. It is something I love to do because it brings me joy. And I think one of the pieces of social media, and I know, Sam, both you and Adam have talked about this, but I know you specifically have talked about how your little corner of the internet is the things that bring you joy.
Mhm.
And they may not be, oh my God, they're the most important things going on in the world right now, but like this is still my life and still my social media, and I'm still going to post about what I want, knowing that there's a lot of other things going on. Whatever was going on in the world, whether it was war or mass shooting or something just terrible that had happened. And I think there was also something locally that had happened in DC that a lot of people were posting about. Um, I was like, what am I adding to this space
Mm,
right now? And is my addition to this space taking away from other more important things that I could be talking about? And I really wrestled with the fact that it's something I love, and yet it could also be construed to other people
mm,
as frivolous and unimportant, and that I was sticking my head in the sand.
Mm.
And I'd never felt like that before. And I just couldn't get the feeling out of my stomach. And I remember, I mean, I had a lot of people reach out to me, like more than I ever anticipated, that watch and
like
were
more than
waiting
30?
for
About
probably
20?
about 30,
That's
about
insane.
30.
It's my Super
Um,
Bowl of any like award show.
Knows. It's the one
Yeah.
time a year that, like, the Instagram puts your stories first
it's
for me.
me number one. And I felt so, um, like I felt so like much gratitude that people even cared an iota because I do this truly like for my own like interest because I think I have brilliant ideas.
You do.
But I
Same, so we
I
started a
I
podcast.
struggled telling people I struggled telling people like, "Hey, I'm not doing it right now because I feel like people are gonna get mad at me if I do because I feel like I'm not using my platform for more important things." And I said this to Dean, I said this to my husband, like, "This is why I'm not doing it." And he was like, "That is totally your call. 100% your call. Never do something that's, like, making you feel that way, but I promise you no one else is thinking about it like you are."
I love that both, and I will say this about both of your husbands, they are so freaking grounded in, like,
Oh
their
yeah.
logical moves, and then and it's just my
And
They're
then
the
there's
favorite.
opposite.
us.
They are
And then there's
You
us.
said that part.
opposites.
I implied it.
No, but I think it's to your point about it feeling frivolous and what am I adding to the conversation? I think that is not to put on my therapist hat and to diagnose us, but it is
Please.
left over from feeling like we have to use our platform in the interest of informing people and for a specific purpose of being these professional journalists. And I have
Yes.
had a very
Yes.
similar struggle with transitioning into a content creation space and making
Right.
money on Instagram or on social media, any other social media, on TikTok, on Substack.
Yeah.
Like I really have struggled with that because especially in like the first year, I'm almost, you guys, it's 2 years next week since I've left my television job, which is crazy.
That's
And
crazy,
for
Sam.
I know, and in the first year, I
I feel like
really
you're addressing
struggled.
that as, like, an AA person who's about to
It
get,
feels
like,
I
second
know.
year
But
chip.
it
All
is.
love to AA, does amazing
I
things,
do.
but
It
I
yes.
know,
is.
so true, but it does feel like you look and again, I've never been in AA. I have some incredibly amazing people who I know who I actually just saw one of my brother's really close friends. He's like 7 years sober this week, and I'm like, that is just like I feel like
Wow.
every year you add on to that marker, you get farther away from it. And hopefully, you deal with it every day and you deal with some of
Just
these things still every day.
good news.
Just like working. No, obviously two very different things. But point being, when you start to get farther away from something that was difficult or that caused you to have some enormous life transition, you notice the ways that it has changed over each and every year. So like year one for me, it was really tough to like navigate me and how I was going to show up on social media differently than how I was when I was a journalist. And are people going to take me seriously? I had this like recurring thought of like, are people going to take me seriously? Like,
yeah, I
yeah.
totally
And
get
like,
that.
who does she
LOL.
think
This is
she
my therapy
is?
for what I think about before I put literally
Yes.
anything on
Anything.
Instagram since I left news.
Yeah. Yeah. Year 2, I stopped thinking. I not stopped, but year 2, I have kind of just like had a sort of fuck it mentality. Like I just had to say, I have
It's
to
not
show
that
up
deep. I'm not the
exactly as
center of the universe.
it's not. Yeah, I'm not the center of the universe. If people want to continue following me, there was a period of time where I lost more followers than I gained. And I'm now on the other end where I'm starting to gain. And it's like, I mean, we're talking small amounts, but it still felt like people were looking at me going, oh, that's not who she is anymore. And she's not supposed to be doing that. And so like, who does she think she is? And I think that is left over from being in the business and feeling like you have to put out some sort of like useful piece of information all the time. I don't know if you guys have felt like this, like with like the World Cup and stuff, but do you remember when we would like tweet literally everything? Like any score of a game as soon as it was over, or like, I don't know, some big event as soon as it happened, and losing that took a while. Like, think about that.
I mean, Twitter.
Well, I haven't been on Twitter in like 2 years.
I haven't been on Twitter in years. But thinking about that, one of us would have probably that had to happen with for you to be the most relevant one in the market. What were we putting on ourselves doing something like that?
It's exhausting.
The sad thing is like you kind of like the logic behind that was sound, in the fact that like if you want to be the post that everybody clicks, you do have to be that. But like we can't beat, like you can't beat a bot. Like we can't beat like a app or a Twitter or an RSS feed or whatever.
Yeah.
And we are trying to.
Yeah.
Like that is what would blow my mind in those instances.
So it's like that. And it's interesting because for Maddie, when you're talking about your like award show content and you're doing it like on the minute, every minute, was that like part of it?
I stressed myself out about it.
You stressed yourself out. Like
I absolutely stressed myself out about it. There were years, and I don't do this anymore, but when I was covering lifestyle for the big lifestyle show I worked on before I moved to South Carolina, when I was doing Great Day Washington, and then I did Daily Blast Live, which was a national lifestyle syndicated lifestyle program. I used to have 2 computers out with award shows. One was just like Getty Images trying to get the best, fastest version of someone on the red carpet in order to get it to all of our socials, while also doing it personally. There was one night I had my intern with me. I was at their apartment and we were doing this together. That's how like serious it was.
And we're not even the ones there. Like, that's the work that just the plebeian reporters out in the world have to do.
And that's and it was a lot of pressure. And I think too, like this idea, Sam, you know, both of us transitioning to being accounts where we're also moms is like a thing. And the red carpets start at 5:00 now for Entertainment Tonight or Vogue on YouTube or whoever, Vanity Fair. I can't just tell my husband
hell
like,
in my house.
Sorry, I'm not going to be able to help with our child. I've got to go upstairs and get off my takes.
Like, I gotta Instagram story the red carpet.
I got to be on Instagram stories.
But here's the thing. Dean would understand.
He'll let me do it.
Dean would.
He lets me do it. And he's happy that I do it. But I, in good conscience, cannot be like, I'm sorry, dear son of mine. Would you like to play with mommy tonight? No. I gotta see what Lupita Nyong'o is wearing today.
I mean, we have to see what she's wearing.
And we gotta see. And let me tell you, this Odyssey press tour, everyone's popping off. Anne Hathaway.
Wait, really? Is it good? I have not.
Anne Hathaway is having a renaissance.
Press tours are
glowing
great recently.
Pregnant and glowing.
Yeah.
And then
baby number 4?
I mean, Zendaya, 3 or 4.
Number 3? 3?
3 or 4.
She looks amazing.
Zendaya had a dress that she just wore to, I think it was the opening night in Paris or London.
I love Zendaya.
I think it was a Schiaparelli gown. She had it taken off the runway and literally flown private to get to her in time for the red carpet.
Like that. She's She's iconic.
She's
I
iconic.
just finished Euphoria. I just finished Euphoria, you guys, for the last season.
Never seen an episode in my life.
But she can tell you all about the summer house reunion.
Is that a me show? No.
No.
You know what
the
I'm
brand
watching?
hasn't changed.
Off Campus. Heated Rivalry.
Me too. Okay. Wait, I'm watching Off Campus.
Wait, Sam, have you started Heated Rivalry yet?
No, I started Off Campus, which you guys,
I haven't done Off Campus.
My only take on Off Campus is I just finished the first season. I hate it so much, but I can't stop watching it. I can't.
And I genuinely love it.
And that's the most you and me coded thing ever.
Are the same but different.
And I know it existed somewhere in the ether.
And Adam will get to it in 2 years.
I know it's straight Heated Rivalry.
It's straight Heated Rivalry.
Mean, Heated Rivalry was like, I say this, my husband has never watched it. Samantha, I cannot imagine your husband watching it. I don't think our husbands can handle that show.
I know.
You know what we should do? You guys, I'm going to be on a beach trip in a week with my husband, my dad, my husband's mother.
No.
Do not put that on, Sam.
I'm already saying no.
You will. Sam. You may. Sam. That may be grounds for divorce. You may be kicked out of someone's will.
Yeah. Let me just tell you something. I would never.
Yeah.
That would go so horribly wrong in so many different ways. And also, by the way, for anybody who's listening and does not know, Madeline and I have children who are, Maddie's just turned 2 and mine is turning 2 this week. They're like, we're
3 weeks apart.
How many days apart? 3 weeks apart?
You guys were both very pregnant around the same time.
Yeah, we were very pregnant at the same time.
Which, can I just say, Dean has always said, had we still been in Colombia and Sam and I were pregnant at the same time in like an alternate universe, he's like, I think like your fans, like I think their brains would have broken that like you guys were like us sitting on the desk, like both pregnant, doing more
on the stools. Could you imagine sitting on the stools?
Yeah,
I would run.
It's great content.
You guys, I had to do
late to the desk.
I was late.
Like,
I was late. I was late coming down here because I had to emergency pee before I hopped on here for an hour.
Like,
oh my God, that's so true, Adam.
That's really what my brain went to immediately was how late you would be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or guys, like trying to get close.
When I was pregnant the first time, I anchored on Sunday mornings 4 straight hours.
I don't know how you did it, babe.
When did
really
you pee?
don't.
I had to go. So there was always a sports block at the end of every hour.
It's always the sports. 4 minutes.
And I got, you guys, I got to I got to the point where I was so big and like, you know, the mics are like tucked into spandex in the back, which by the way, I can't wear anything tight. Like even wearing this shirt today, I'm like, get it off. Like anything tight to my body is PTSD from my first pregnancy because I had to wear a sheath dress in the summer, like 8 to 9 months pregnant. It was horrific. But I got to the point where I just told the audio people, I was like, I'm just sorry. But at 50 minutes on the hour, every hour, I'm going to go pee and I cannot take this mic out and turn it off. So like you're just going to have to cover your ears.
Crank it down.
Just turn it down. I will not be turning because then I will break a sweat. Which I did many a time anyway. And so being pregnant on TV is not for the weak. No. I have such mad respect for people who do it continuously.
That's so
because I refuse to do it ever again.
I mean,
it's awful.
I don't blame you.
The anxiety
you were saying,
of being in
about
that.
Rowan and Teddy.
Oh, what was I saying? I was saying that they are parrots at this age. They're parrots. So you can't watch anything that you don't want them to repeat or that we've hit that point now where I'm like, okay, I don't really want to have something questionable, even news now. Like I don't want to have that on with you in the room. Whereas 6 months ago, I used to watch parts of the Today Show with him. He loved to see like some of the sport stuff, the animal stuff. Yeah. Now I don't flip it on anymore because I'm just like, I don't. And
they know it. They recognize it.
Yeah. They recognize the feelings and the energy. And, you know, I still believe that is valuable. I 100% still consume it myself. But there is this like level of, I'm not going to turn on Heated Rivalry with my 2-year-old in the room. So
that tracks.
Or your mother-in-law.
That tracks.
With your
or
father.
My mother-in-law.
Although I think your father would enjoy it the most out of all of the people listed. I think Dr. B would just take like, I think he would take like a research and like sociological, be like,
I love that you feel that way about him.
I think he's just, I think of him as such a curious human. So
he is, but I think he also would be like, he would not stop blushing for like 2 straight weeks.
Yeah, it's not for the faint of heart.
No.
Okay, I feel like we need to put a button on the Miami anchor, and here's why.
Okay.
Because we did not mention that apparently the news director said that this note that he sent out about them not being influencers, whatever, he said, too many of our social media accounts are being used for foolish nonsense. He claims that was sent in an earlier note, not in relation to the bikini pictures, the specific ones that are in this New York Post article. Felt like we needed to put a button on that because it's being tied all together as he's calling out this specific woman. Just had to give him that
when
journalistic.
He said that, right.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
Yes, layers. I think that's a good caveat.
Yeah. And speaking of layers, can we just talk about Miami local news in general? So you're mad about them posting bikini photos, but you want them to wear the most skin tight dress you've ever seen in your life. Have you ever turned on Miami local TV? Those girls are beautiful.
I was about to say.
They're amazing journalists. They can do both and it not be a thing. But like now that we're like mad about her being in a bikini, I was just in Miami. It's 100 freaking degrees. It's so hot. So hot.
I interned at that station. One of the
I'm like, go off, babe.
Very talented anchor reporters who I worked with was a Dolphins cheerleader very soon before. Again, now you can see her on NFL. Like, she's big time because she's super freaking talented. But I think knowing that she came, like, come on, Miami, we know what we're doing.
I know.
There's a double standard. They look for specific talent, and they want talent to look and act a certain way, but then you can't have it both ways.
Well, and I think we all could say and know for a fact that there was a show that we used to work on where hair color was the most important thing about who they were hiring. And that's crazy, right? Because it should be the most talented person, the person most right for it, not because you must have a certain hair color.
I'll even
in
accept,
order to do that show.
I always accept looking like your audience, so making sure you have the demographics of your team that matches the people that watch it, the community. Amazing. But that was not what that was about.
That's not what that was about.
That's not also hair color can change.
When I worked at my last station, which was Central Pennsylvania, which is about as different of a market from South Carolina in so many ways, and yet so similar in so many ways as well, which is that there are really teeny blue portions surrounded by big old red portions. No emphasis was placed on looks in the same way that coming from a Southern market was. And it was real, like, I say no emphasis, like that was never discussed in the same way that it was discussed where I was before and had been in DC, where obviously that mattered ginormously, and then in Columbia where that also mattered. And then I got to a station where like they didn't care, and that station had a lot of other problems, including like no oversight. But
just like that casual problem, no editorial help.
It's definitely
a news director who did not stay for shows.
Watch your product.
No, not a single time in my entire 2 years were they ever at the 4:00 show that I did.
And it's 4:00. Not
it's
even
4:00.
like, oh, it's 7 p.m. 8,
no, they left because they had an hour and a half commute home because no one lived near where the station was. And I was like, wow. So the rest of us will just leave at 2 a.m. for the night shift. Cool.
Love it. God, I hate a night shift.
My button on
you warned me
news organizations and stuff like that when it comes to looks is seeing the things that like you guys had to do from the outside, whether it's the rent the runway so you're not repeating dresses. I could wear the same suit. I wore the same 5 suits. Monday was a suit, Tuesday was a suit, Wednesday was a suit. I did that for 2 years in Nashville. Did not get a single email other than nice suit today, Adam. Every now and then. It was too long. I've been told, hey, you should really take time to go to the makeup consultant today. But I haven't gotten like what I know you guys have, which is like change this, lose this weight, like go to a barber. Like that,
Yeah.
it has always been. I will never forget this one story. This Australian news anchor, male news anchor, like to underscore this point, wore the same exact suit and tie and white shirt, not the same white shirt, but the
I
same
remember
exact suit and
this.
tie every day for a year. And not a single person said anything. It's like Chris Cuomo wore like the same black, like it's not. Ugh, it's so frustrating. So we can't pretend that you guys aren't influencers in any regard if we
Yeah.
are allowed to make these comments about what you are looking like. And people care about the outfit of the day, clearly, because you need a different one.
I love that content, by the way. Like when news anchors like do their like 5 days a week of like what they wore in a week. A, it gave me ideas for what I was going to do. And B, it lets you, it is a really easy behind the curtain look at it's just behind the scenes content. That's all it is.
Yeah.
And I think there are
Harmless.
reporters who do it really well. There's actually a reporter here in Boston, and she is adorable. I love her so much. Her name is Penny. If you follow her on TikTok, she has, she's a great journalist. She has a TikTok that's like exploded. Her TikTok handle is Penny like the coin. She's adorable. But
That's so cute.
She does get ready with me videos where she gets ready at like 2, 3 in the morning and she talks about the stuff that she's doing in her job. Like she does such a good job of bridging that gap. And I think there is a way to do it. And there is a way to do it that is not looking for product or endorsement or like, it's not an image and likeness issue. It is this is who I am. And I want you to be invested in my reporting kind of way.
Bingo.
And I think, so there are reporters who I think do it really well, but it is like a really tough, it's a tough line. And I came from my most recent station. I will tread lightly, but I know that my most recent station is very well known as like, that's the good looking crew. Like you turn it on and you're going to see someone who is hot on your television. That is like, that's the barrier to entry. That's the barrier to entry.
Wow.
Yeah. Like they want this certain aesthetic. And that is the first bar. It's the first bar. And it's hard because we do work in a visual medium, or we worked in a visual medium. But like, again, on the management side, there also has to be a line.
Okay, good news to close us on. This is a story. So I looked for one from South Carolina. So this one is from Charleston. It is from February, but I loved it. It is, while Charleston is known internationally as a wedding destination, one lesser known venue is gaining popularity, the Charleston County Public Library. George and Carmen Morshaw walked down the M aisle, exchanged rings, and said their vows in the fiction section of the Bees Ferry Branch Library. The couple who met online 5 years ago playing video games chose the unconventional venue for both practical and sentimental reasons. I'll finish with the quote. We decided to get married at the library since it was very easy for us to get here and get it notarized for free. And we both
love that. And I love a library. We have joined our library system here in Montgomery County, Maryland, and we are like true addicts. Like Dean and I regularly have multiple books on hold. We go all the time. Their free programming is incredible. Their programming for children is amazing. I love taking Rowan.
Slaps.
Oh, Libby.
Yeah. See, and I'm not an e-reader person, so I love a physical book. Like, the library, I love that clearly. For them. I know. Well, you're such a reader. Both of you are, but both of you are such different readers than I am. But I also love that for you.
Yeah, let's just say Madeline and I also do not agree on books.
Music, television shows. However, we are very close best friends that I would love to say, but like we have very little in common.
And Madeline loves is it Allie Hazelwood? Hazelwood?
Sam and I might have gotten in our truly like biggest pop culture argument over a book.
What was it called again?
What book?
Problematic Summer Romance.
Yes. It's problematic in every way.
That book is ingrained in my body, and I literally posted about it for like 2 straight days. And Sam was like, I'm going to give it a go. She wrote to me with such vitriol, with such hate in her heart. It was like, Maddie, I cannot get through this book.
It just makes me like, kind of like the maximalism of the Taylor Swift wedding made me continuously vomit in my mouth. Like, a romance novel to me is just like, like it just,
she got
I don't know.
Yeah,
I did. I got high. Like romance just, my poor husband. I'm like, romance gives me hives. It's not for me. I'm so sorry. I love a serious, I want to cry. Like, give me a Kristen Hanna historical fiction. Just make me weep.
So boring. Why do I want to be sad?
I want to feel something, Madeline, because clearly it's hard for me to feel.
Let me tell you, I'm feeling things. They're just different things.
I bet you are.
And
because
on
you like
that
a spicy
note,
book.
ladies and gentlemen, it has been an honor and a pleasure, and I'm stopping this recording.
Oh, no, never.
Yes.
Bye.
Thank you, guys.